All right, ladies and gentlemen, if you could look up here real quick, please. So this will probably be the last project that'll take us into break, all right? Now, here's the deal. We have 14 days until break. And actually, the last week, in case you do not know, the last week is exam week, okay? Now, I usually do this project. I've done this one for the last couple years. They turn out really, really cool, depending on how you choose to do yours and depending on who you choose to do, which is what I'm going to talk about today. And then I'll let you do some research, find some different images, okay? I'm going to show you a couple different examples. You may like one example over another, and that may be the avenue you choose to go, all right? But we are going to take type and text and turn it into a portrait, okay? Now, there are many different ways to do this. You could probably go onto Google and Google it, and you'd find a tutorial. The way that some of the tutorials work, they look very, very boring, all right? The way I'm going to show you is you have a lot more freedom of how you want yours to look, okay? Now, and I'm not going to move around too much because I'm recording this so people that are quarantined can watch this on Canvas so they don't get too far behind. Couple things. You can choose a person. You could try something else. What you can't use is a cartoon because it's very two-dimensional. It'll just look like a puddle of words. You won't be able to really tell who it is, okay? In the past, people have tried cars. Some came out awesome. Others did not, okay? People have tried animals. Some have came out awesome, some have not, all right? You could try, some people have tried landscapes. A girl a couple years ago did the skyline of New York City. It took her forever. It looked really, really cool, but it was very complicated, all right? Now, I'm going to show you examples, and then I'm going to show you what to look for. Here's the deal. You do have Photoshop. That's what we're going to do this in, all right? You are going to have the options to choose how you want to do yours and what you want to edit. For example, this picture, or I'll just use throwing it out there. Let's say I choose LeBron James, and you got a picture of him, but there's a lot of stuff going on in the background, the crowd, stuff like that. You are not going to have to do the whole image, okay? You are going to have, one, we have the power of Photoshop, and you are your own person. You're going to be able to edit what you want to keep in the image, what you want to leave out, okay? So this one of Michael Jordan, couple things to look at. One, the way they arrange their text. If you notice, it kind of follows the contours of each part of him. Around his shoulder, his words curve, okay? Around his forehead and his head, his words curve. His jersey, they go around his jersey, all right? That makes it look a lot more realistic, okay? If you like how that looks, you're going to be more than welcome to do that. The other part is this. All the text in this have something to do with him. They're either adjectives describing him. For example, it says dominance right here. We got finals. It's got some of his statistics, things like that. All right. Whatever person or whatever you choose, you're going to want to have like text that goes along with that person or image. And I have a whole bunch that were done last year that we got sent home that are still down here. So I'll show you some examples from last year as well. Okay. Now, the other thing is this. I'm going to show you some that are in color, some that are not. Okay. This one, they used a lot of like gradient effects. That's the little FX button on the bottom of the layers panel. Like if you notice right here, never give up. It kind of goes from dark orangish to a lighter skin color. All right. Some of them up in here, you obviously can tell where the shadows are. They use darker colors. Okay. Moving on here. This one of Mr. T, kind of cool too. All right. Oh, and the other part is this. So far, these first two. All right. The one of Michael Jordan. I can read most of the stuff. Some of it I can't read because some of the words are overlapping. They're going to be allowed to overlap if you want them to. However, in a few minutes, some of the ones I'm going to show you, you actually can read every word that they use, okay? So I'm showing you these as examples, kind of start getting your mind working, okay? And so that you can see the different ways that these are done. So here's the one of Mr. T. Okay, obviously, if you don't know who he is, but if you do, he was always about the gold chain, so they made those really, really bold so that they stood out, all right? The text in his head is a little bit smaller, harder to read, okay? These next two, if you want your text to read just left to right, that's how they set this one up. All their text reads left to right. Now, some of it, just to get the different shadows, overlap a lot. Like these words really, really, really tiny down in here. All right, just to get those details. But if you like this style better, you'll be able to set yours up like this. Okay? I think the next one's like that as well. Yeah. I'm getting there. This one, I kind of like this style. Maybe you don't. But they chose to do him in just all white text. All right, so if you don't like the colored look, you could choose just one color. Or you could reverse this. Maybe you do a white background with black text. Okay, this one came out nice. I just heard Emily say, are you going to have to type all these words? No, here's the deal. The words that you will use, I'm going to show you these next couple days since this is a short week. You're going to take text, we're going to turn it into paint brushes so that you just have to paint this. All right, there's a method to my madness. Okay, so don't think you're going to have to sit here and type every single one of these words. You're not. You're going to create brushes for them so that you can then arrange them, change the size, things like that. All right. This one, again, if you like color, yeah, I'm gonna talk about that. This one again, if you like the realistic, you want to add the different colors and shading and styles, you may. All right, it's not that hard. Once you get yours built, you go back in and put different layer styles on it. Okay. This one I would not recommend doing. It took him forever, but they used just different letters to create himself. The lowercase a makes this eye. The J makes his eyebrow. This was like, if you look, his finger curling as a capital G with little lowercase l's and a larger L. All right. You have to actually use each letter, arrange it, flip it around. I just show this one because it did come out cool. It took him forever though. Here's one. Let me see if I can zoom in here a little bit. All right. This one, if you take a second and look, you can read every single word. They have it spaced out so that every word is legible. Okay, the other ones, they kind of overlap. If you like this look, you can set yours up like this, okay? Now, and I'm going to show you as we go, if you look like benefits on his chin, it's kind of a football shape. If you look a lot of his words, I'm going to show you how you can change the shape of your text once you paint it in there, okay? So if you like this look where you want people to read every single word, you could set yours up like this, okay? I think that's it for right now. Again, I have a whole bunch of student examples down here as well that they did last year. Here's the deal, and somebody in first period reminded me of this after I got done talking. One, our Google searches are terrible this year because of the new filters and stuff they put in. If you have to, you can use your phone today to look for stuff and then just send it to your drive, okay? But here's the deal. Yes, you can do anybody you want, okay? It could be, you don't have to do a person. People have tried animals in the past. I will tell you those kind of are frustrating. Somebody tried a tiger. They got all the hair, really, really hard detail. The way we're going to do this is we're going to find some images today. We're going to edit them in Photoshop first, all right? Here's what I say. I would find 3 to 4 images you may want to use. Here's why. Once we edit them, and then you start this, some of them just aren't going to work. They just look like a blob of words. You can't even tell who or what it is. All right, you want to have a couple others already edited so you don't have to waste time. Okay. Now, let's say I choose to do LeBron James. Maybe I find 3 different ones of LeBron. Okay. Or you could find 3 random ones. I can do LeBron, Lil Baby, and Machine Gun Kelly if you want. Okay, just so you have a couple there. A couple things to look for here while you're doing this. Check these out. So far, all the ones I've showed you. Okay, and again, we have Photoshop. We're going to make some edits to them anyways. I would make sure they're a pretty close-up image. All right. If you find one, and let's say I'm doing LeBron, I find one of him jumping about to dunk, but it looks like it's taken from the top row of the arena. That's going to be really hard to do because you got to try to visualize this is going to go from a real image into words. Okay. And then the other part is this, just to reinforce this, because this is what everybody starts off doing when we do this project, when I've done it the last couple of years. Again, this one, there was stuff going on behind him. All right. If you find an image you like, but you're like, oh, I can't do that, that's going to be way too hard because of those people in the background. You don't have to do everything in the image. So if you find an image you like, but there's other stuff going on, you're going to have the freedom to keep stuff out or put stuff in. Does that make sense? So today, here's what I would do. I would start, again, you're probably going to have to use your phone. I would start trying to find some people you can do. You cannot do a cartoon character. The reason for that is there's no detail in them. They're usually flat colors. You try to do that with words, it's going to look like just a bunch of words. You're not going to be able to tell who or what it is. People have done cars in the past. They come out pretty good, okay, depending on how you do them. So if you're into cars, maybe you want to do a car instead of a person, all right? What else? Oh, most of them, if you notice, are mostly headshots, okay? Not that it doesn't work, but if you find images where you're going to try to do the person's whole body, that tends to get a little bit frustrating, all right? Because like the legs and stuff don't really have a lot of detail unless you, when we start editing them, you're going to really be able to see this. Oh, I didn't show you this one. Maybe you like a little more simpler look. This one of Jay-Z came out pretty cool, right? I mean, this as opposed to Jordan. Okay, really, really detailed, a little more simplified, but still looks kind of cool. Definitely a little bit more bold and graphic. Okay, and you can read just about everything he put in this one, except for the little details here in the hat. He just used random letters. Okay. So again, there's going to be a couple different styles you could choose from to how to do this. But first, find some people you want to do. If you want to do somebody famous, cool, people in the past have done a family member. You can do that as well. Okay? I don't care who you choose. Now, I don't know if I told this class, this will probably be, I told the first grade class, this will probably be the final project. Here's how this works if you can keep this in this classroom. We have exams before we go to break, the week of 14th through the 18th. They haven't really released the schedule yet of what days, what exam's going to be, all right? Usually I do a final project, and if you're done with the project before the exam day, you don't have to come in here. You can stay in bed under your nice warm covers, depending on when this exam is, all right? Maybe it's in the afternoon, but that's how I usually roll it, okay? So I figure it should work out perfect. We got these next couple of days, since it's a short week, to get some images prepped. All right, hopefully by Friday we'll get some text turned into brushes, and then I'm going to show you how to do this. I will give you the whole next week, okay? To complete this, we usually print these ones out because they do come out really, really cool, okay? That seems fair. Do we get this? We good? So today I'd spend the rest of the day trying to find some images, do what you need to do. You're probably going to have to use your phone to find some really good images because the filters on the search in school is a little bit tougher this year, all right? Questions, concerns, complaints?